2 years with Jessica had been nothing short of amazing. We shared a small apartment in Seattle, a love for weekend hikes, and what I thought was an unshakable bond. My job as a software engineer paid the bills, while my passion for Muay Thai kept me centered. Little did I know our relationship would unravel in the most ridiculous way possible, all because of a wannabe karate master with delusions of grandeur. As I start sharing how my 2-year relationship crumbled in the most ridiculous way, I am curious where you are watching from today. Drop your location in the comments and click subscribe if you have ever dealt with someone living in their own fantasy world. I met Jessica at a local gym where I often trained when I was not at my Muay Thai classes. She was working at the front desk, always greeting members with a warm smile. After weeks of casual conversations, I finally worked up the courage to ask her out. Our first date at a small Thai restaurant near Pike Place Market was perfect. We talked for hours, discovering our shared love for hiking, true crime podcasts, and spicy food. Fast forward 2 years and things were going well. I was 28, working as a software engineer for a tech startup in Seattle. Jessica, 26, had moved up from gym receptionist to personal trainer. 6 months ago, we decided to take the next step and move in together, combining our lives in a cozy 1-bedroom apartment near Green Lake. My passion for Muay Thai had been a constant in my life for 8 years. 5 days a week, I would head to Seattle Muay Thai Academy after work, training under Crew Michael, a former champion who had spent years in Thailand perfecting his craft. Jessica always supported my dedication, sometimes even joining me for cardio sessions or watching my sparring matches with pride. Our relationship had its normal ups and downs, but we always communicated openly. Or at least that is what I thought, until 3 months ago when subtle changes began creeping in. It started with her phone. Jessica had never been the type to be glued to her screen, but suddenly she was constantly texting, always turning her phone away when I entered the room. When I would casually ask who she was talking to, her answers became vague. Just a client, just a coworker, just a friend from her yoga class. Speaking of yoga, Jessica suddenly became passionate about a new class she had discovered. These classes always seemed to run late into the evening 3 times a week. When she would return home, she would be oddly energized, rather than relaxed as one might expect after yoga. Then came the strange new obsession with Cobra Kai. Jessica had never shown interest in martial arts films or shows before, despite my involvement in Muay Thai. But suddenly she was binge-watching episodes, making comments about karate techniques, and asking oddly specific questions about how karate compared to Muay Thai. I started noticing things around our apartment that did not add up. Items moved from where I left them. The shower used when I had been home all day. The faint scent of unfamiliar cologne in our living room. Each time I brought these things up, Jessica had a ready explanation, but they never quite satisfied my growing suspicions. The final red flag was when she began canceling our regular date nights. For 2 years, Friday nights had been sacred for us. We would alternate planning something special, whether it was trying a new restaurant, catching a movie, or simply cooking together at home. But suddenly Jessica always had an excuse. She was too tired. She had to cover for another trainer. Her friend needed emotional support. Still, I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was going through something personal and needed space. Maybe work was more stressful than she was letting on. I decided to make an extra effort to reconnect. I planned a surprise romantic dinner at the restaurant where we had our first date. I spent hours coordinating with the staff to recreate our original meal, even making sure they played the same music. But 2 hours before our reservation, Jessica called to cancel, claiming an emergency client session had come up. When I checked with her gym later, they mentioned she had actually left early that day. Not ready to give up, I left little gifts around the apartment with handwritten notes expressing my love and appreciation. I attempted to initiate conversations about our future, bringing up topics we had once excitedly discussed, like our dream to road trip down the Pacific coast. But Jessica would change the subject, or suddenly remember an urgent email she needed to send. The breaking point came when my neighbor Tyler stopped me in the hallway one evening. Tyler was a friendly guy who worked night shifts as a nurse, so he was often coming home when others were leaving for work. "Damien," I do not know if I should say anything, but I have seen Jessica entering the building several times with some dude in a white outfit. Looks like some kind of martial arts uniform or something. I figured maybe he was just a colleague from the gym, but the way they were laughing and touching, it did not seem professional, man. My heart sank. All the small inconsistencies suddenly formed a clear picture. The next day, instead of going to my Muay Thai class, I waited in my car across from our apartment building. Sure enough, Jessica arrived home at her usual time, changed clothes, and left again. Not toward her yoga studio, but to an apartment complex 3 blocks away. Later that night, while Jessica was sleeping, something I had never done before and still feel uncomfortable about, I checked her phone. There were dozens of messages from someone saved as Sensei Jake. The messages ranged from flirtatious to explicit, with multiple references to their special connection and his superior martial arts wisdom. There were also mocking comments about her clueless boyfriend who wasted his time on that barbaric Thai boxing. The next morning, I overheard Jessica on a phone call in our bathroom, speaking in hushed tones about Sensei Jake and his most dedicated student. That was enough. I decided it was time for a direct conversation. I took the day off work and waited for Jessica to come home from her morning shift at the gym. When she walked through the door and saw me sitting on the couch in the middle of the day, her expression immediately shifted to one of concern mixed with what I now recognized as guilt. "Damien, why are you home? Are you sick?" she asked, keeping her distance. I cut straight to the point. "Who is Sensei Jake?" The color drained from her face. She fumbled with her gym bag, avoiding my eyes. "I do not know what you are talking about. Jessica, please do not lie to me. I know something is going on. I have seen the texts. Tyler has seen you with a guy in a karate uniform. I just want the truth." She sank into the armchair across from me, her shoulders slumping. "I met him at a karate demonstration at the community center 3 months ago. I was just curious, because you talk about martial arts so much. And you've been lying about going to yoga to see him," I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "It started as just friendship. He is really knowledgeable about karate. He has this spiritual connection to the art that is really powerful." She was becoming animated now, as if trying to justify everything to herself, as much as to me. "So you have been cheating on me with a karate instructor." I could not keep the hurt from my voice. "He is not just any instructor," she snapped defensively. "Jake is a master of his craft. He understands the spiritual side of martial arts in a way you never have. Your Muay Thai is all about aggression and violence. His karate is about discipline and inner peace." I almost laughed at the absurdity. Jessica, Muay Thai has centuries of spiritual tradition. I have tried to share that with you for 2 years, but you were never interested. She shook her head dismissively. "Jake says Muay Thai is a crude form that lacks the refinement of true karate. He has won tournaments, you know. He is training for his black belt." The conversation deteriorated from there. After an hour of painful back and forth, the full truth emerged. Jessica had been seeing Jake for 3 months, initially drawn to what she called his profound spiritual energy. She admitted to bringing him to our apartment when I was at work or training. Most painful of all, she confessed that she had fallen in love with him and wanted to end our relationship. "But Jake is not what you think he is," I tried to explain. "This whole spiritual master thing sounds like an act. You are just jealous because he has achieved a level of martial arts mastery that you never will," she shot back. "Jake embodies the true samurai spirit. He is a warrior poet." Later that evening, my friend Alex came over after Jessica had left to stay with a friend. He brought beer and pizza, but I could barely eat. As I recounted the surreal conversation, Alex looked increasingly confused. "Wait, this Jake guy. What did Jessica say he does for a living?" I shrugged. "Some kind of karate master, apparently. Won tournaments training for his black belt, spiritual warrior, blah blah blah." Alex pulled out his phone. What is his last name, Peterson? Jake Peterson. Why? Alex typed something, then let out a low whistle. Dude, I think my coworker Lisa knows this guy. She takes classes at that community center. Let me text her. A few minutes later, Alex was laughing so hard he nearly spilled his beer. Bro, this Jake guy is a sales rep at an office supply company. He started taking beginner karate classes 6 months ago, after binge-watching Cobra Kai. He has never competed in any tournament. And get this, Lisa says he shows up wearing a headband like from the Karate Kid, even though the instructor has repeatedly told him it is not appropriate. I should have felt vindicated, but instead I just felt hollow. How could Jessica throw away 2 years for someone living in a fantasy world? Over the next week, I fell into a slump. I skipped work, made excuses to avoid Muay Thai training, and barely left my apartment. Alex checked in daily, increasingly concerned about my state of mind. You need to get back to the gym, man, he insisted one evening. Crew Michael asked about you yesterday. Said your clinch work was getting really good and he has got some new techniques to show you. He was right. Muay Thai had always been my anchor, and abandoning it was only making things worse. But each time I thought about returning, I remembered Jessica's dismissive words about my crude, unrefined fighting style, and the motivation evaporated. The situation reached a new level of bizarre when Alex brought more information from his coworker Lisa. Apparently, Jake had been bragging to everyone at the community center about stealing a girl from a vicious Muay Thai fighter. He was building himself up as some kind of romantic hero who rescued Jessica from my supposedly aggressive